Hey there, everybody. It's your friendly neighborhood personal trainer. Who else but Tommy else? And this is my podcast. Welcome to it. Uh, Today, I wanted to talk about recovery. Recovery is a very important part of exercise in general. It's very easy to get wrapped up into getting into your physical high that you get from working out, so that if you don't work out for a day, you just feel like sluggish, you feel uh, just gross sometimes. I know how it is. It can become very addictive, which I know for some people sounds absurd, but it really can. But the rest periods are very, very important. On the most minor level, to the rest periods that you take between your sets, to the rest periods you take between the days that you actually work out. Rest periods between sets is something that is determined more on what your goals are. So that's something you would want to consult with me on to find out what you should be doing. Take a minute, take 2 minutes. But when you have rest periods, I do highly recommend keeping a stopwatch of some sort. I prefer to have it like a physical stopwatch and not something on your phone, because it's just way too easy to get distracted on your phone by other things, even if all you're trying to do is use your phone for a stopwatch. If you have a designated stopwatch that doesn't come up with texts and news updates and notifications and things like that, all the better. So, something to consider. So, why is it important? Well, if you think about what you're doing when you're working out, you are, if you're lifting weights, let's say you're doing resistance training, and even if you're not, even if, let's say, you're a runner, no matter really what you're doing is you're tearing down your muscles, okay? And it's what's referred to as micro tears. And these little micro tears in your muscles are then repaired if properly nutritioned with aminos and proteins and things of that sort. They will not only repair themselves, but they will grow back bigger and stronger than they were before, hence the muscle growth. It's a survival mechanism. It's trying to keep you so that the next time you face that adversity, you're prepared and able to handle the whole situation. So, but if you don't give your body that time, because what happens is that's what happens when you're giving your body rest. It can't happen while it's being broken down. You have to you break it down, and then you give it the time to recover. And then you break it down, time to recover. Okay? So without the recovery, you hit plateaus. So you start wondering, like, well, I'm not getting any better. I'm not doing anything. It's like, well, maybe your body's just not getting enough rest in between to grow the muscle back. It's easy for you to be anxious and say, well, I want this to happen right now, but your body's just on a different schedule than what you are. And you got to just listen to nature. I mean, you're never going to win that fight. So you may as well just listen to it. The other thing is that if you don't take any breaks, it does affect like your stress, and it can affect your coordination, your focus, and even your strength output. Because if you don't give your body a chance to recover, you go in there and you're like, well, I'm not pushing as much as I was before. And it's like, well, yeah, your body's not over the last time that you tried doing this. If you don't take time to recover, you also run a higher risk of injury because, like I said, you're tearing down your muscles, you're breaking it down. But if you don't give them time to recuperate and then grow stronger, you just weaken them and weaken them and weaken them. And then all of a sudden, one day, you go to do something that you used to be able to do no problem, and now you can't do it, and now you've ended up hurting yourself. So, so when I talk about recovery, it means days off from the gym. Okay, so like I generally would rather see somebody go 5 intense days at the gym with 2 days recovery, and not do like a 5 day, or I'm sorry, a 6 day with the seventh day off type thing. It's just not enough time. I don't care how you're breaking up your muscle parts or anything. Your body just in general needs the time off. So, so there's days off, but then there's also sleep. And sleep is really like one of the most crucial parts of this whole element, because that's when your body makes most of its changes. Okay, so like, most of your growth hormone release, which is the stuff that like makes your muscles repair and manages your fat metabolism, it happens during sleep, and especially in the first few hours. So it's a very limited time, but it's important that you get that time in. Now, if you're also uh, training very regularly, you're also raising the levels of inflammation in your body. And as as much as there are benefits to the exercise part of everything, when you rest and you sleep, it allows your immune system to reduce the amount of inflammation, preventing it from becoming chronic. There's also glycogen replenishment, because when your muscles are working, if you're doing any sort of resistance training, it depletes glycogen during exercise, and rest allows your body to restore it, fueling you for your next workout. Because if you come in short on your next workout without it, I mean, it just makes, it's just common sense, really. It's like if you go in and you just don't have, if you're not coming in at your best, you're not going to get the most out of it, right? So just something as simple as rest is really going to make, I mean, I don't know that like this should be like that big of a, shocker to people, but I mean, you just think about it. Like, how would you rather work out on a full night's rest and you wake up and you feel energized and feeling great, or you're groggy and sluggish and you're dragging yourself around? You know, obviously you're going to want to have more rest. But there's other aspects to it as well, and one of which are the mental health benefits. Because if you're constantly training without breaks, like if you go like 7 days a week and you're working out, you'll honestly start increasing your chances for anxiety, and then even loss of motivation, because at a certain point you can just kind of burn out. I mean, the burnout factor increases when you don't have that rest. The rest, sometimes it's like I said, sometimes there's days where it's like if I don't work out, like I just feel like I just somehow wasted a day. I don't feel right. I feel off or whatever. But you know what that does is it reinvigorates me, and it gets me re interested in working out and getting back into it, and just being like, I got to get back in the gym. Like I don't feel right. Uh, and it also, if you give yourself those breaks, the odds of you having a long-term consistency with your workouts, and this not just being like a 2 month thing that you do for a while, is going to help, because you just need a break. People need breaks. It's okay to, you don't have to be an Olympic athlete. You just you just got to get through, like, say, 5 days a week of regular training and working out, and you're going to feel better for it, and your body will be better for it. But if you overtrain, you're putting yourself in a situation where it just feels exhausting, and you're going to just be like, screw it, I'm not going to do it. And then finally, I would say, like, there's also the fact that overtraining raises your cortisol levels, and it can even lower your testosterone and estrogen balance. I mean, there's a whole hormonal balance that starts getting out of whack if you're doing too much training versus just, so that's why I'm like, look, if you can give me a good solid Monday through Friday or something comparable, whatever works in your schedule. But if, let's just, for the sake of, argument, on Monday through Friday, workout hour a day, then you get those 2 days off, your body gets some chance to recover, and you feel, you don't have to exert yourself, and then you can get remotivated. You don't feel like you're just putting yourself through the grinder nonstop, you know. And part of it can be addicting. And again, I know for some people there's just, they just can't fathom that that could be the case, but it's true. And if you're, and I can get like that too, like if you feel like it's just addicting, it's like, okay, fine, then modify it. Let's say instead of going to the gym for an hour today, you're going to go for a walk instead. That way you feel like you did something. You go out and you walk as fast as you can. I don't care, just go out there, put on your headphones, listen to some music, and you can power walk all through town and whatever you want for as many miles as you want to do it. But just give your body a break from the actual resistance training if you're doing like weights, things like that. So that's my advice there. Uh, Thank you again, everybody, for listening. And it's been pretty cool, I have to say. I have been hearing from some people that I haven't talked to in almost 20 years. And it's great to hear from some people who have caught on to this show and are listening. And it really, really does mean a lot to me. And because I think, like, man, 20 years ago, it's like it's so easy to forget people from that time, but for people to have found me again on here and connect with me has really been awesome. It's August, and so I have to definitely plug my offer for the month. This month is my birthday. I'll be turning 46 years old on August 26th. And so this month, my special offer out to all of the people out there who are looking to be potentially new clients is the Lark water bottle. Now, what is the Lark water bottle? And I am not a paid sponsor by this by any means. Okay, this is simply a product that I have used and found wonderful success with, and I am offering it for free to anybody who is a new customer client who comes in and wants to put forth 12 weeks of personal training. What does it do? Well, let's say you've got your average plastic water bottle, all right? And you're going to take that around with you all day because I'm on you, because I'm trying to get you to get to the very minimum 64 ounces, if not more. And you leave the water bottle in the car gets hot. If you're in our area here in the Midwest, Chicago has really sucked and it's been really humid and hot. And if you leave your water bottle in the car with water in it, it's going to smell like mold because that's what's in there. And it's going to stink. And then you can clean it and it'll might smell like the cleaner, but you can still kind of smell the mold too, right? So what does the Lark bottle do? Well, inside of the cap is an infrared, or I'm sorry, it's an ultraviolet light. I'm going the wrong way there. It's the ultraviolet light. And this is a technology that they use in hospital rooms and have for a long, long time as far as surgery goes. So this is how they sterilize the room. They blast this ultraviolet light throughout the room, and apparently that kills 99.9% of all the bacteria, anything that causes E. coli, salmonella, things like that. All of it gets burned out of the room with that stuff. So they were able to take that technology and put it inside of the top of this cap of this water bottle. So with the water bottle that I'm offering right now, see, I have an earlier version, but I'm giving away a nicer one. What it does is it does have a filter that's going to go through like the usual, like chlorine, da 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 da, all that stuff. But it also has this technology in it. So what it does is when you have a filter in any sort of water filter, ultimately over time it collects a lot of the garbage, which it's supposed to do, but then at a certain point it starts self-contaminating because it's just being water just passed through the collected bacteria. But when you have the ultraviolet light inside of there as well, it's also disinfecting that, and cleaning that and making it so that it's not, you're not getting that secondhand bacteria from that too. So I mean, it obviously needs to be replaced at some point, but what it does is it's reducing drastically the amount of bacteria and things that could get into your water. Now, the one that I have does not have the actual filter in it. It just has the light in it. But I've had it for several years. And one of the things I like about it is that, like, when I go on my bike rides, I go on the Illinois Prairie Path. If you don't know what it is, Google it. It's awesome. It's a long bike path that you can take throughout the basically the suburbs of western suburbs of Illinois. And but there's water fountains along the way, right? You know you're on a path, you see a water fountain, whatever, it's a public water fountain, but it's like you don't know what anybody's done to that thing. They could have spit on it or pissed on it or who knows what. you know but you can take the water from there, and it's got a 1 minute and a 3 minute version of cleaning that it does. The 1 minute is more like if you're taking it out of the tap of your sink, then it's probably, on the whole, it's okay. You just put it through a 1 minute filter on there, and it takes 1 minute, blasts it, and it's done, right? But let's say, like, you're at the lake, right? Okay, so you scoop up some water from the lake or the river or whatever it might be. It's got a 3 minute version that it puts it through, and it's supposed to be the equivalent of 20 minutes of boiling water. So, and they keep a monthly update as to the performance status of their product. So this is stuff that you can go online and look at. So I know I'm going on a lot about this, but this is honestly, like, I really feel like this is something that would help a lot of people with hydration. And I know I've talked about this, and I know I keep beating people over the head about hydration, but it really is such an important part of your health that it's like anything that will help with that, this is great. So that's the version that I had, but the new one, and this is the one that I'm offering people if they sign up for 12 weeks, is it measures how much water has gone in and how much you've drank. Okay, which is very important, because if if you've worked with me, that I'm really asking people, like, how much water they had every day. I'd like to get as accurate of a count as I can. So this is a big help in that regard, and also keeps you self-aware. Uh, it also has reminders on it where it will click off, because one of the biggest problems with getting people to drink water is the fact that it just, like, never dawns on them to do it. It's not in their vocabulary at that point. They're just used to going through the day, and they just don't drink water. So I tell people, set things, set alarms in your calendar and things like that. But I mean, what if the water bottle itself just said, hey, let's have a drink? This does that. All right. So I think this is a great tool. Like I said, I'm offering this to my clients. Anybody who's a brand new client who's coming in and wants to get 12 weeks of personal training, you get this bottle for free. But even if you're not, seriously do consider getting this thing, because it really is fantastic. And again, I am not being paid for this at all. This is 100% just me advocating for some product that I have used myself and have seen the benefits of. And I totally see the usefulness in this to help my clients achieve their goals, because I know I've beaten it over the head, like I said, but it's 100%. Water is so crucial in everything that we're trying to do to help anybody, in regardless of what their goals are. I don't care if you want to be a football player or you're just trying to lose weight. Water, water, water. Gotta have water. There it is. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in again. And until next time, I, of course, have been who else but Tommy else.